Walking down these empty streets, echoes of the past I meet. Lost and wandering for so long, searching for where I belong. Sunrise breaking through the night, guiding me back to the light. Every step feels like a prayer, promises hang in the air. Come back home, heal your heart, where the love never parts. Come back home, find your peace in this place.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the Dear Brother Podcast. What's today? Today is Wednesday. They call this hump day. That means we made it. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. I'm glad you're here today. It is the Dear Brother Podcast. We have a half-hour show this morning. Y'all know by now I have my baby, and we got to get to school in the morning. So, it's good to be here with you guys this morning. I want to get into this quick half-hour show. I want to talk about burnout this morning, and I want to apologize for yesterday, everybody. I got all my streaming things crossed up, and I was streaming the Dear Brother Podcast to the Dear Sister Podcast on YouTube. So, but good morning to you all. Good morning to my Facebook crew, and again, I want to shout out to shout out sounds so old and corny, but anyway, I want to show love to everybody who's been watching, all my new subscribers, man. I must show you deep respect and deep honor. Thank you so much, everybody, for subscribing, liking. I mean, the page is growing faster than usual, and I am so honored for that. I don't take you all for granted. This channel would be nothing without you. And so I want to say I really want to thank you all so very much. And again, I want to thank everybody in the UK and Morocco, the brothers in South Africa and Germany and Canada, Australia, and in my own country, New York. You guys have been watching the most. You guys watch the show the most. And then it's Texas and Cali, Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, Ohio, Illinois. Man, I'm so thankful that you guys tap in, man. Make sure when you guys watch the show, I know some of you are in different time zones, so you watch the show later on, but make sure you drop a line, drop something in the chat to let me know that you enjoy the show. I see you watching, but I want to be able to react. I want to be able to interact with you rather and say hello to all you guys. I'm looking forward to starting an evening show, and maybe that will fall on people's timeline. But no matter what time you watch the show, whether it's 6 a.m. with us or whether it's later on in the day, I want to thank you all for showing so much love to the Dear Brother Podcast. And for some of you sisters that jump on, always remember we have the Dear Sister Podcast as well on YouTube. We have the Dear Sister Podcast on TikTok as well. All right, so that's where we drop the shorts and everything. So we're doing it out here. I'm a one-man band. I'm a one-man army, but we building something great together. So I'm so glad that you guys are here this morning. Jump in the chat. Let me say good morning to you. Let me know where you at, what's your name, where you're from. But it's really good to be with you all this morning. It is Wednesday morning. They call this hump day. That means we made it halfway through. I'm glad you made it halfway through. So I have a short show for you today. We already at 6:05, so I better get into it. But good morning to you all. I want to talk about burnout this morning. I've been burned out. Anybody been burned out? Jump in the chat. You been burned out? What does that feel like to you? I know what burnout is tough, man. Burnout is tough. I've been burned out. I know the burden of burnout. And I think as men, sometimes it's hard for us to admit that we're burned out. You know, one of the hardest things for us to do as men is admit when we are burned out. You know, but burnout is common, man. Burnout is more common than you guys think. You know, and don't be fooled, man. Everybody gets their coffee in the morning and everybody says, good morning, good morning. You got some people lighting up their Newport, and you got some people headed out to work and jumping on buses, and some people jumping on planes and driving the car. Listen, just because you see that energy of people going doesn't mean that people aren't living burned out. Understand that, man. A lot of people, you'll be surprised how many men are flat out done and still alive. Man, flat out done. There's some men that are flat out done and still alive. You might be one of them. Because this is what you got to understand. Acknowledging burnout is how you get out of it. I remember I went to see a therapist one time, and I told him I was burned out. He's like, oh man, if you just get in the gym and pump some iron, you'll feel better. I took about 3 years off of therapist after that, because I realized that burnout was way more than just, taking a swim or a vacation. See, when you have, oh God, I feel it. When you have a deep burnout going on, there's no vacation that removes that. Really, there's no vacation that moves that, or there's not a check big enough that moves burnout, because burnout, guys, is deep within. It is heavy inside. And the only way to really get out of burnout, or to begin the journey out of burnout, is to acknowledge that it's there. I think a lot of us are scared to admit that that we're burned out, because we think it's weak to burn out, because society says, man, you just keep going. We measure our strength by how much we go and how fast we go. One of the most dangerous things you can do as a man is measure your strength by how much you go and how fast you go. Because just because you're going fast don't mean you're accomplishing anything. And just because you're doing something a lot doesn't mean you're winning, right? See, another way to measure is, what's my level of effectiveness? Not whether I'm doing something, but what's my level of effectiveness? Am I being effective? See, that's the real question you got to ask yourself as a man, because a lot of you guys have kept going. I've been burned out probably 3 times in my life. I'm talking about flat out burnout. Burnout is not fatigue. Like you get tired at the end of your day, and that burnout is mental, is social, is emotional, is when you've gone too far. And you know what drives burnout? When you don't know how to say no. And for a lot of you good men, I'm not talking about these frauds who call themselves men. I'm talking about a lot of you good men. A good man wants everybody around him to be happy. But I'm going to tell you, one of the hardest things you got to learn, and I hope you get it right now while I'm talking, you cannot please everybody all at the same time. You cannot. You cannot make your wife totally happy and make your kids totally happy and make your boss totally happy. It comes a point as a man. I know you're a provider. I know you're a protector. I know all these words that we are described as men. But you got to understand, man, what you can do, how much you can do, and what you're not able to do. And that's one of the hardest things for us as men to say, what we are not able to do, right? Because we mark that as weakness. It is so sad how manhood is being defined now, right? It's being defined by strength. But what is strength? That's the question. What is strength? Is strength means I'm always on the ball? Absolutely not. Strength, you know what strength means? Strength, to me, strength doesn't mean what else you keep together. Strength is how much you can keep yourself together. Because if you can keep you together, you can keep other things together. See, you can't lose you trying to hold everything together, bro. You got to realize that. Because as a man, you want longevity. You want legacy. So being able to hold something together for 6 months, right? That what's that do when you're too tired and you can't do anything, right? And around the time now, around this holiday season, that's when burnout really drives, right? You come to the end of the year. You've been working hard. You carried your kids through the summertime, right? You went on vacations. You tried to please your lady, right? You did some cleaning. You did whatever you got to do as a man. You put things together, and now that school year started again. Isn't that something? How the end of the year is the beginning of the year. The school year feels like you're starting the year again. But look, you burn out. You done went through January all the way to September. You went 9 months, all to feel like September begins all over again. And now you're starting again, right? But here comes the holidays. Now I got to feed the family. I got to think about who's coming over. I got to think about the attitudes of my family and who to invite and who going to ruin the situation. It's so many things, right? And for some of you guys that's married, your wife is taking on that responsibility, and it's up to you to try to carry her emotionally. See, it's a lot of things to manhood, right? It's a lot of things to manhood, but when you get burned out, you have to stop. One of the hardest things to do as a man is stop, right? It's almost like it's an embarrassment to stop. Bro, if you don't stop, you're going to crash. The only thing you can do fast is crash. It's the only thing you can do, right? Almost every day I talk about pace on this show. Pace in the morning show. Pace. Because I'm going to tell you, man, you will burn out. You have to recognize what's going on. And you have to see stopping as strength, not weakness. Right? So how do I recognize burnout? What's the signs of burnout? Before I get into that, let me see who's in the chat. And let me see good morning to some people. Jay Scott, good morning, my man. Good morning. Yes, sir. Absolute facts, man. Absolute facts. That burnout is serious. That burnout is serious, guys. It will tear you up. And I'm going to tell you the reason why burnout is so heavy, because burnout can lead to you. Well, let me talk about the signs of burnout. And then we'll talk even deeper, because those of you who have been burned out know how far it can take you, right? Burnout will take you straight to an addiction, right? Now, I know somebody said, well, Christian, there's some stuff before that. I'm going to talk about the stuff that comes before that. But I'm saying when you walk around burned out and refusing to recognize that you're burned out, you'll wind up doing things, saying things, and being places you never thought you would. Because burnout is your insides crying for help. That's what burnout is, my brother. Burnout is your inside saying, please help me. Right? It's like a dog when the dog is sick. You can put your dog outside. Your dog is sick. Your dog is looking around the grass and everything. Most times when your dog is looking for something around there, that means it's sick. It's looking for something to heal it. Burnout is a signal, man. You're sick. You're sick. You're sick. You're sick. Right? You're sick in your soul. You're sick in your soul. What's the soul, Christian? Your soul is your mind, your will, and your emotions. Right? When you get burned out, everything starts to not make sense, or you become a conspiracy theorist about your life, about what's going on. I'm telling you, man. Ooh, I was burned out this morning. I did not feel like getting on this computer, man. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, right? I've been teaching every day on this computer since July, every day, sometimes twice a day. And I run 3 podcasts, the Dear Brother podcast, the Dear Sister podcast, and the Christian Activist podcast. And I got 4 children, right? My son is in college. I got 18-year-old twin girls and a 7-year-old, man. I am tired, right? Right? I'm tired. I know what that is. I'm not burned out, but I'm tired. And let me say this for you. Sometimes that deep feeling of fatigue is a signal for burnout. It's like that yellow light, right? Now, let me talk about that for a minute, because I feel that, right? When you drive and you drive and you see the green light and then you see that joker turn yellow, right? There are some of us that will speed up so we can make that light. Yes, right? Jump in the chat. If you're that person that's going to speed up to make that light every time, let me know. You're going to burn it. And then some of y'all going to see that yellow sign and say, slow down, right? It all depends on what you think that yellow sign means. Oh man, I feel like teaching y'all now. It's what the yellow sign means in your life, right? And I guarantee you drive like you live. Oh my God. I guarantee you drive like you live. See, for me, I'm going to make that yellow light every time. I'm going to make that yellow light, because that yellow light to me is a sign to keep on going or speed through so I can make it, right? But how many yellow lights have gone off in my life and I ignored them because I was tunnel vision on what I thought I had to do? Listen, brother, what you think you have to do is not more important than more important than your emotional health. It's not, because I'm going to tell you, the things you think you got to do, they'll be sitting there waiting for you, right? They'll be sitting there waiting for a better you, a healthy you, right? But the signs of not of weakness, the signs of burnout is exhaustion. I guess it's that yellow line, the yellow light, right? You're going to speed up and get where? Where are you going? I think that's a question we got to ask ourselves, brothers. Where are you going? Where you going? Where you going so fast? What you trying to accomplish? What are you running from? Oh man. Oh man. Because sometimes we like to mask this drive we have. Oh man, I'm ambitious. I'm going forward, man. I'm going into my future, bro. I ain't, But the question is, why you running so fast? Why can't you walk into your future? Why you got to run? Why are you trying to run in your future? You know what it tells me? You know what it tells me? It tells me that you're running from something. You're running to something, but you're running from something because you ain't got to go that fast. And let me tell you, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Damn it, you don't know what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes. So when you're running fast into the unknown, you're risking a crash. I'd rather walk than run. And if I walk, then I can understand how I got there. A lot of us have great achievements and then we fall somewhere and we don't know how to get ourselves back up. You know why that happens? That happens because we run into success and we don't walk. When you walk, you know how you got there and you can get back there. When you run out of ambition, you don't know how to get there and you may never get back there again. So walk into love, walk into your next level of career, walk into your next dream, walk into your next goal so you can know how to get there and also know how to tell other men how to get there. That's manhood. Slow down, bro. And you know the proof of it, when you see old men, they all slow down. I was watching on YouTube. I watched these clips, and this guy, he's a young guy, and he finds older people he finds older people on the street, maybe 70, 80, some of them were 90. And he asked them, he said, what would you do different? Now that you're 70, 80, 90 years old, what would you do different with your life? And most of all of them, again, he has interviewed people from all around the country that don't know each other. All of them had the same common theme. I would have slowed down and I wouldn't have had as much stuff. Y'all hear that? I would have slowed down and I wouldn't have had so much stuff. Isn't that something? See, no, imagine. And I'm going to take y'all to something else. When my mother was dying, my mother died of pancreatic cancer. 10 months took her back in 2012. And so the question is this. My mother, when she was passing away, they said, well, Christian, we're going to make her comfortable. Right? We're going to make her comfortable. And something hit me in that moment. I said, I wonder if we thought like that before we were dying. And then some of you who've been through this before with your parent or somebody else, they give them the morphine or whatever. And it's like, okay, we're just going to make them comfortable because they know they're about to die. And I'm going to tell you, I thought about it hard. I said, I wonder what would happen in our lives if we thought to make ourselves comfortable way before we catch some disease or way before the end of our life when some doctor is saying, I'm going to make you comfortable. Why don't you try and learn how to make yourself comfortable now? See, a lot of stuff we adopt at the end of life. Imagine if you got that when you were 25. Imagine if you really developed the mind of rest and self-value. Imagine if you really developed that early on in life. It would have changed everything for you. I know it would have changed everything for me. My God, I would have slowed down. Oh man, I would have slowed down. I wouldn't have been so fast, right? Because what was I doing? Right? In my mind, but you got to watch ambition, man. Ambition can be dangerous. Ambition can be dangerous because you can be running ahead of yourself into something you're not prepared for. And the worst thing you can do is climb to the top and not be prepared to be there. Right? So some of the signs of burnout: exhaustion, right? Lack of motivation. Right? You lack motivation. You just lack. You don't feel motivated to do anything. Right? Not even be with your family. See stuff like that. That burnout will come and make you feel separate, make you feel detached from everybody else. So exhaustion, lack of motivation, irritability. When you're just irritable and don't know why. When this is one place I know I've been when I've been burned out. When you just get to the point where you can't stand another thing. Right? Even the small sound of something just bothers you, That's when you're at your limit. You're at your limit. Some of you experienced that with your spouse. Here you are in the house with your wife. She ain't done nothing to you, right? She ain't disrespected you in no way, and you just mad at everything she says. It's just getting on your nerves. That's not her. right? And I'm going to say this because I feel led to say it. Some of you have lost your relationship because you were blaming her when it was your own burnout that had you at the limit, right? It was you, bro. Come on, it was you. It wasn't her. It wasn't your wife. It's not your kids. Oh, I wish these kids would just calm down. Or I wish my wife would just whatever. Bro, you got to recognize, don't be a bull in a china shop, tearing your whole house up, right? Dealing with everybody in a wrong way because you won't recognize that it's your burnout. It's your burnout. It's not them, right? I'm going to tell you, man, very vulnerable with y'all. I'm always very vulnerable with y'all because this is how you really get to men's hearts, right? See, I remember my youngest baby was like maybe 4, and I was laying on the bed and I was doing something on my phone and she was crawling all over me, right? Now you would think I would feel the joy in my baby crawling all over me, and I felt myself getting real irritated, right? Was she doing anything wrong? No. You know what it was? I had so much on my mind. It was so much going on. I'm heavy in this phone trying to do something. And I remember just getting off the bed and walking into the living room. And I turned around and I'll never forget the look in her eye. I will never forget the look in her eye. She felt so rejected in that moment. And I realized something is wrong with me. I was too overwhelmed to even receive my daughter's love. I was too burned out. I was so irritable. I couldn't even receive love. See, that's another thing. When you get burned out and you get in that place, sometimes only pain feels good. Oh, man. I've never said this in my life, but I want this teaching to go viral. I want this one to go viral, man. I want this one to go viral because people, brothers, there are some of you who have gotten addicted because you were burned out and didn't know it or wouldn't acknowledge it. There are dudes right now that are in jail because they were burned out. A lot of the things we do, it happened because you were pissed off. It happened because you were burned out. It happened because you couldn't take any more. Man, we got to recognize this burden of burnout. Let me see who's in the chat. Good morning, Yolanda. Good morning, dear sister. Good morning. All right. And so these are the signs. These are the signs. Again, exhaustion, lack of motivation, irritability, feeling detached, right? Mental and emotional. You don't feel there, right? And this is the thing, guys. This is the trick of it all. You can go a very long time detached and don't even know it. You can be right in that room and not be present. Oh, man. Oh, man, right? You can be married for 10 years and have been absent for 4 of those 10. And you were there, right there. You never went anywhere. You came home every day. You ate dinner with the family and you were not present the whole time. That's the kind of stuff that burnout will do to you. It will take you another place in your inner man. And even though your outer man is where you need to be, you are detached from where you are. Man, come home, bro. Come home. That's why I wrote this book, Home Where Hurt Men Heal. That's why I wrote this book, because home is where you feel most accepted. Home is where you feel your most strength. Home may be back with your wife and kids, but home is not just a place, a physical place. Home is a spiritual, mental, emotional place, right? Come home. That's where men heal. When you stop running around trying to fix everything and you put everything down and say, let me get to me. Right? And you don't need to be fixed, brother. You don't need to be fixed. You need to address the issues of your heart. Some of you had these issues of your heart since you were teenage boys. Some of you had these issues of your heart since you were an adolescent, man. Some of you had these issues of heart for a long time and you are burned out. You're burned out. That's why you feel like you feel. You're not a bad guy. You're tired. Man. Let me see who's in the chat. Good morning. Let me see. All right. So this is the thing. This is the thing we do as men. We push through. But what is pushing through? See, this is the thing, guys. Even though we can push through, and I've pushed through the death of half my family and preached their funerals. I pushed through it, right? But does that deserve a pat on the back? Hell no. Hell no, it doesn't. You know why? Because all my push through, I never grieved my daughter. I never grieved my father. I never grieved my mother. So is that a pat on the back? Oh, you pushed through? That's not a victory statement, man. Stop thinking that, oh, man, I got through it. No, the question is, what's still attached to you? See, you can push through all you want. And even though you push through and you're on the other side of it now, what's attached to you that will not let you go? What's attached to your mind? What trauma attached itself to you, right? What's that trauma that it attached itself, even though you're trying to forget it? See, this is the thing. Just because you can forget it and move on, don't mean your body forgot. Huh? Don't mean your body forgot. Don't mean your mind forgot. It doesn't mean your belly forgot. Right? And then a lot of these different health issues we have as men, right? Ulcers, right? Stress, body aches. Do you know how much of this is not just from the pizza you ate, right? Or that cheeseburger, right? How much of this stuff is from you holding on? How much body pain comes from the mind? How much sickness in your body starts from this pain in your mind? How much does your body break down for what you're holding right here? And the doctor would love to give you a pill. You got that? Oh, I'll give you a pill. You got high blood pressure? I'll give you a pill. Oh, man. Oh, you on your way to a stroke? I'll give you a pill. Oh, your pinky hurts? I'll give you a pill. And you know what the reality is? The reality is your best medicine is recognizing that burnout is on your back, and the only healing for it is for you to acknowledge it is there and start to find what burns you. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Let me see. Whew. I feel like I'm cooking this morning. Y'all quiet in the chat. Maybe y'all quiet because y'all listening. I feel like I'm cooking. Let me see. Yes. Your body does not. Hey, screen what? Yes, your body does not forget anything. Do you know how many things, my brothers, your body is remembering from your childhood? You know, do you know how many things you still flinch at from way back then? Right? Oh, man. Come on, let's be real. There's some things you've done. There's some things you said. There's some things that have been done to you that even though you might have forgot the situation, your body still reacts to it. There's still a fear that comes from within. Your heart still remembers. Your brain still remembers. Your mind still remembers, right? Your soul still remembers. Even though you were able to push it back, your body reacts to that trauma. You got to acknowledge burnout in order to get free from it. Yes. So this is the thing. Don't wait till you laid on your back. Don't wait till you all out, till you laid out and you can't do nothing and you're calling out from work. No, that's why I'm teaching this morning, man. Recognize it. Recognize it. How do I recognize it? I'm going to say it again. Recognize when you move from fatigue to exhaustion. Right? There's a difference between the end of the day tired and flat out fatigue. Right? Oh, God, I got 2 minutes. Oh, how did my show go so fast? Let me see. You have to listen to what your body is saying. Yes, your body has language that your words can never capture. Absolutely. 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 It's when that heart is racing, right? It's when you feel that twitch, right? Some of you will feel a twitch in your eyes sometimes. Sometimes you'll feel a twitch in your neck. Sometimes you'll feel a twitch in your finger. I'm telling you, you got to... This is why you got to pay more attention to yourself than what's going on around you. This is why you got to really learn yourself as a man. If you learn yourself as a man, you can handle everything around you. What we try to do, gentlemen, is we try to handle everything around us without having a handle on ourselves, right? That's why I taught yesterday about confidence. The man who is confident, or that confident man, right? The man who knows himself is greater than a man who can conquer a city. The man who can conquer himself is greater than a warrior who can conquer a city. Why? Because self-awareness makes you say, hold up, I feel a little sadness, right? This happened to me a few weeks ago. Well, it was maybe a few months ago. I was teaching in Guyana in South America. And I came home and I was so silent, right? So silent. I found a game on my phone and I'm just playing this game on my phone every day. And I'm never like hours playing a game on my phone. I stopped and I'm sitting in the house and the blinds was closed and it was dark and I'm sitting in this one room and something said, yo, you got to get up and go outside, because days had gone by and I didn't recognize it at first. I did such hard work in the streets of Guyana. I did such hard work days after days, teaching men, walking through the villages, praying for people. That burden had fell on me so much that a sadness fell on me, even though I flew all the way back home, right? I flew all the way back home and it was still upon me. I was so sad. I was speechless. And it took me 4 days to recognize something's wrong with you, bro. Right? And I had to call my lady like, yo, come on, let's go outside. Let's and I don't know what we did. We just spent the day doing random things and it lifted me back up. I was burned out. I was burned out from one mission trip. When you're somewhere by yourself in another nation carrying the burdens of a lot of people, man, things will happen to you, right? And I'm a missionary. I know what burns me, but there's things in your job that burns you. There's certain conversations that burn you out. You got to protect yourself from things that burn you out. God, I got to go, y'all. It is 6:31. Okay, I got to get out of here. But I will part 2 this. I think I'm going to come back this afternoon. I'm going to do an afternoon show. I need to do more shows. I feel like I need to do more shows. And I'm here talking about burnout, and I'm talking about I need to do more shows. Listen, I gotta go, y'all. But the number 2, I'll get into this later on this afternoon show. Here go the balloons. Where did these balloons come from? I don't know. Identify the root causes. You got to start identifying the root causes of your pain, of your burnout. Right. I'll get into this. I got to get out of here. Let me see. Our mind is the control tower. Yes. When your mind is tired and overload, yes, your body has to follow. Absolutely. 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 It will. Your body, remember, your mind is your slave, not your master. You got to give your mind something to think about. Let me see. Society tells us to ignore and self-medicate the inner cry. Absolutely. It is shut up, right? It does what it tells it. It reminds me of that story. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the story when the blind man was crying out to Jesus in the Bible saying, heal me, and everybody was telling him to shut up, right? How many times have you shut up when your whole body wanted to scream, my brother? I love you. I got to get out of here. Remember, man, you matter. You matter today. You matter today. Absolutely matter today. And always remember, like I say, every single solitary show, yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. All you have is right now, homeboy. What you gonna do with it? No fear, no shame, no compromise. I'll see y'all this afternoon. Peace, and I'm out.